It looks like we'll be waiting a while for the next Nintendo Direct, probably in June, but luckily they are filling the gap with a massive injection of near constant sales. They are count onable at this point, and today I'm bringing you a bunch more awesome eShop games with big discounts and a few physical titles tossed in there for those of you who love your cartridges. What's going on, everybody? It's Zach from SwitchForce. Hope you're all having a fantastic day and doing well. Thanks so much for the support. This community is growing so strong, and it's so nice to see. I appreciate all of you giving me your recommendations and giving other friends and viewers recommendations for what games they should keep their eye on, so keep that up. Thank you. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this video, and like knowing about the sales. We're ready to rock through the late April edition, and it begins with a good one, a riot of a time, a really good time, a really insane time with Bulletstorm Duke of Switch Edition. Keep letting your friends know which games they should keep their eye on. This one might be my top pick. I love this game. I think it's one of the most underrated shooters of last generation because it's so much fun. Bulletstorm Duke of Switch Edition is $15, 50% off until May 13th. It is a score chase and shooter where you're trying to build the best combo possible with all sorts of insane weapons and downright disrespectful kills. This game released back last generation from People Can Fly. It got solid buzz, but I don't know. Maybe the raunchiness kind of rubbed some people the wrong way. They're now adding Duke Nukem to the playable roster, which doesn't do much for the whole disrespectful, over-the-top, really raunchy humor, but the game underneath is fantastic. It is so good as you try to score chase your way through these very interesting scenarios, very beautiful levels. It was a time when FPS were just ever present, so many of them, and that era is gone now, but this is a great game to remember from that time, and I think for $15 you can have a ton of fun on Switch. Celeste, you probably have it. If you don't, it's $5, 75% off till April 27th. All right, we got over 20 eShop games to talk about today. This one, it takes the cake. Celeste is cream of the crop. If you do not have it, it is a phenomenal, difficult platformer with so many levels. A sides, B sides, C sides. There's DLC. There's a touching story. There's a lot more emotionality than you'd ever expect from a pixel platformer, and it's by Matt Make Games, who does he's one of the Switch indie goats, and he also made Towerfall, which is similarly $5, 75% off till April 27th. It's awesome. This is multiplayer instead of single player. It's so good. If you're looking for something to play while you're locked at home, give this a go. If you haven't played it, $5, you're gonna have hours of fun. There is up to 6-player multiplayer. It does not have online, so it's going to have to be local. But trust me, it's so twitchy and so fast, and the rounds just zoom by. It probably fits better for those laugh out loud, really fun couch battles. So many different levels. You're firing arrows around. Much precision, a little bit of luck, and you know that the different arrows that you get are going to do really cool things. There are arrows that create thorns, explosive arrows, just really cool, like a limited single screen battle arena. Oh, but so much fun. If you haven't played Towerfall or Celeste, grab them both now. Dead Cells is $20. That's 20% off till April the 3rd. This is a phenomenal roguelike game. Very, very good. They call it a Roguevania, saying it brings in elements of, Castlevania, but you're still going through and doing your best to get as far as you can, and then there are permanent upgrades that you'll see as you work through the metagame. So I definitely understand their classification as a Roguevania. This one, it's got tons of press. It's very good. It's not my favorite, but it's so supremely good. It is definitely incredibly polished and one of the absolute best in this genre. Let's flip things to the physical side for a quick minute. Best Buy has a pretty good sale on the World Ends With You Final Remix, grabbing the cartridge for $34.99. That's 30% off the regular $50 price. This is actually a DS game that I loved back in the day. Now, I believe it can only be played in handheld or tabletop mode, no TV mode, but it's still totally worth it. You're going to be using these pins and badges to execute awesome attacks in a futuristic Tokyo setting. It's like Kingdom Hearts without the Disney or Final Fantasy, and a much more fun combat system, in my opinion. I loved this game when I played through the entire thing. This is the Final Remix edition, and even though it looks, not the best, it has a very good aesthetic, and if you can get past that it is a DS game, I think you're going to have a ton of fun with it. They added an exclusive scenario to this Nintendo Switch version. There's remixed music, new enemies, hours of additional content, and it's just super fun. It's a great time. It's one of the JRPGs that I really love from my childhood, and I highly recommend it at $35, which feels like a DS price instead of a Switch price. Travis Strikes Again No More Heroes is $25. That's 30% off from the regular $40. It's not a phenomenal game, but if you're jonesing for No More Heroes and concerned that 3 isn't going to make it out this year due to the pandemic and all the delays, Travis Strikes Again isn't bad. This was a game that Gabe and I were insanely excited for. It ended up being very different than the normal No More Heroes gameplay framework, but there's a couple different styles of action. It's top down, it's still fun and fast, and at $25, getting the physical, not too shabby. We've seen this thing drop down to about $20. I would not pay $40 for it, but if you're looking for some NMH fun, this could be your ticket for only $25. Back on the eShop side of things, we've got the Capcom Spring Sale, and as you know, Capcom does not like me showing their trailers. So we'll just roll through the games. Resident Evil is seeing an entire franchise sale. All of these, by the way, are till April 28th. 4, 5, and 6 are $20 from $30. That's 33% off. Now, this is a sale, but honestly, it's the price they should have been all along. $30 for these old school Resident Evils feels like a lot. $20 is a lot more doable. Honestly, I wish 5 and 6 were $10. 4, I'm fine paying $24. If you're excited for that 4 remake, you can grab 4 now for $20 and play the original before it's either tainted or made awesome. They did such a good job with 2 remake, pretty good job with 3 remake. Will 4 be the best yet, or will it be a bust? We'll have to wait and see. But in the meantime, you can grab Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen for 50% off, down to $15. You can grab Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy for 50% off, $15. That's 3 great Phoenix Wright games that are going to take a lot of time and use your brain power and give you some honestly good writing and interesting scenarios. A fun franchise that I wish would get a new entry, but you can relive the glory days while you're at home. We've got Okami HD for 50% off, down to $10, and then pretty much everything Mega Man is 50% off as well. 11 down to $15. The Legacy collections are down to 10 from 20, except for the first one is $9.89 from 15, odd price. But the rest are 50% off, and they're all great. So many hours of Mega Man, so much fun. Get 11 if you haven't played it yet. It is challenging. It mixes up the formula a little bit, but it's so much better than Mighty Number 9, like leaps better. And any bad taste that put in my mouth, this washed away. The newer Mega Man games, like 9 and 10 and 11, are actually very good, and 11 takes things in a forward-thinking direction, so I appreciated that. Devil May Cry 1 and 2 are 40% off, down to $12. A lot of great stuff from Capcom. Where is Monster Hunter Switch, Capcom? I'm waiting for it. I honestly thought that was a game that might come out this year. It's been a while. You can grab Generations Ultimate for $20 if you want to play some Monster Hunter on your Switch, but just know that this is a port of a handheld game. We're still waiting on that new Monster Hunter, which I expect to be a Monster Hunter World, old school Monster Hunter hybrid for Nintendo, which is gonna be awesome. Let's go to Felix the Reaper for $8.49, 66% off till May the 10th. Here's one of those games I've heard good things about, haven't played myself, gonna pick up. Felix the Reaper is a very happy, sassy man. He is dancing his way through a 3D shadow manipulation puzzle adventure. You might think that Felix the Reaper would be a shooter, given the title, but it's actually a puzzle game with a gruesomely sweet and beautiful story world. Collect skull achievements that further unlock bonus time travels, and watch Felix's dance moves develop as created by professional dancers. He moves in the shadows and has to manipulate his surroundings to find his way through the world. Luckily, Reapers like Felix are able to turn the sun and move shadowing objects around. It's got a very lovely aesthetic. I've heard great things. It's one I'm going to check out. Maybe you guys want to as well. Puzzle Quest is a much more known quantity, and The Legend Returns is 50% off, down to $7.49 till April 26th. This is tried and true Puzzle Quest action on your Switch. If you did not play this Match 3 RPG, you're missing out. I understand if you don't like Match 3s at all, but because this one integrates RPG elements and a story and characters and leveling up, I even got into it despite not loving the Match 3 puzzles. It's a little bit more of a gamer's game than something you're going to find on your iPhone, although this also, I believe, is on your iPhone. They added 100 all-new quests, 5 all-new classes, and it includes all these past Puzzle Quest content packs with beautiful remastered HD graphics. I think that's a great price point. $7.49. I like this one a lot. Super Blood Hockey is down to $5.09, 66% off from $15. If you're missing sports, here is a very aggressive hockey title. I like arcade sports games. I wish NBA Jam would come to Switch. Has not yet, but you've got 4-player local multiplayer and you can do this 12 vs 12 Mega Rumble. Still only 4-player multiplayer, but I like the idea of the different modes and the cute art. It reminds me a lot of Ice Hockey, which is a very good NES title, but this one obviously has more going on, more to it. It's definitely just riffing off of 8-bit and 16-bit hockey titles, but it's pretty fun, and it's mature rated, which is odd, but you know, kind of cool in its own way. Steamrolled Quests, oh my baby. You guys know I love this game and adore it. I think it's one of the top 5 indies on Switch. It is down to $12.49, 50% off till May the 3rd. I can't say its praises enough. It is a deck-building RPG battler with awesome characters, gorgeous art, and really fun mechanics that continue to grow and evolve as the game progresses. They don't stop adding stuff, and it never feels overwhelming. It just feels complete. It is a beautiful game, over 100 cards, such good UI, such amazing polish. Image and Form Steamrolled, one of the best franchises to exist in the indie space. You got to get this one. Or you can grab Steamrolled Heist Ultimate Edition, $5. That's 75% off until May the 3rd as well. This one is a turn-based tactics game. Think 2D XCOM with hats and Steam bots. It's very, very good. I mean, it got amazing reviews. It's 15 to 20 hours of gameplay. This is the Ultimate Edition that brings in all the DLC, procedurally generated levels, plus an overarching storyline, upgrades, new characters. Oh, it's Steamroll, baby. I should just say Steamroll, end of segment. These games, you know they're great. Anthill is Image and Form's one of their first ever titles. It's $4 down, 60% off from 10 till May 3rd. It may look like nothing, but I played this game for many hours last year. It is a super simplistic RTS, but it actually works out really well. You're drawing the paths of your buggy guys, your ants, on the Switch screen and defending the anthill against all of these attacking bugs. It's basically Bugs Life without Flick and with a lot more military jokes. I like this one a lot. It is a very cute, fun time, and it's actually challenging and strategic. There's not a whole lot of RTS action on the Switch, and if there is, it definitely doesn't work as cool as this handheld-only touchscreen title. $4, you're going to get a good weekend out of it. I recommend it. Blasphemous, you know this game. Violent, religious, and really Dark Souls-like. It is $15, down from $25. It's 40% off until May the 3rd as well. It is a vicious time, but if you can get into that sort of thing, this is a great game. And going to challenge you a lot. But as I tell everyone, the game opens with the dude dumping a crown full of blood onto his head. And then his sword has thorns that cut his hands. So it is that kind of a game. Some people will not be able to get past it. If you do, there's great gameplay, really interesting systems, smart death mechanics, but I understand. It is really intense. Alien Isolation is also intense, but in a different way, $24.49. That puts it at 30% off until April the 30th. Hide from that alien. Hide from that alien, a game that came out on Switch late last year in December from Sega. It is pretty cool. I like this one. It's not my favorite sneak and go, but it's pretty nifty. That alien is scurry, and I'm glad it's on Switch. It runs pretty well. Cave Blazers is a big recommendation this week, $374. That puts it at 75% off until May the 13th. This is a fun little endless road, like they say. You are controlling your character through these levels that remind me of like Terraria or 2D Minecraft or something of this sort, but it's got all the elements that you'd expect with all sorts of different weaponry, epic boss battles, there are daily runs, character customization, and a lot of platforming as you try to navigate and get as far as you can in these worlds. Gabe and I both like this. It's his recommendation of the week, my recommendation of the week, $374. Ooh, yes. Lovers in a Dangerous Spacetime, another great co-op game, and a good one for you and your significant other, your parents, your kids. It's appealable and workable for anyone. $749, down from $15. That's 50% off till April the 30th. You work the ship. You'll work the ship and try to control the different elements as you navigate through these very vibrant neon worlds. Somebody's got to be, steering, somebody's got to be firing, somebody's got to be working shields. I believe it is 4-player co-op. I've done it with 2. I think it pushes you more at 2, and that is my favorite way to play, but you can play up to 4, which is nifty. It's a great time. It might sound like a silly little indie game that just has a lovable story and not much gameplay, but no, like the mechanics are really solid, and you get to upgrade your ships, randomized level layouts. It's pretty darn awesome. So if you got a significant other, you got a loved one or a relative that maybe isn't huge into games, you can get them in, and you'll still get a lot of value and a lot of hardcore value out of this. So I like that a lot. Flipping Death is $3.99 from $20. That's 80% off until May the 3rd. This is the game where you flip from the world of the living to the world of the dead, solve the problems of the Dead to try and help them pass along. It got great reviews. I would not give it a 9 out of 10. To me, it's more of a 7 out of 10 game, but at $3.99, dude, I recommend the heck out of this. It's got pretty nifty art. You get to play as Death, and you get to possess the living, which is kind of a fun, unique mechanic. Gabe liked this one a lot as well. Missplosion Man is $7.49, 50% off till May 13th. This comes from the XBLA era, which I love that area. Twisted Pixel did really good work back in the day. I like Explosion Man and Missplosion Man. You're exploding yourself to navigate through this puzzle platformer over 50 levels and multiplayer levels, which is pretty nifty. There is online multiplayer as well in this iteration. It's just a good time. If you ever played it back in the day or you missed Missplosion Man, get it. If you haven't played it, these are really good puzzle platformers that call back to an era that maybe you missed out on, or maybe you didn't have an Xbox back in those years, and now you can play it on Switch. I like this one a lot. And my game, Overcooked 2, the most crazy cooperative competitive game ever. It is not competitive, but it becomes competitive when you're like, dude, I need you to make me a freaking burger faster. A whole lot of DLC packs, so the fact that it's $15, 40% off till May 3rd is good. You can use that extra 10 you saved off the $25 normal price to pick up some of the DLC packs. A lot of different chefs, a lot of different levels. Fun for everyone. It's pretty easy to teach, but it can be demanding as you search for a high score. I am notorious for restarting the levels over and over again, but it's because the game's just that darn good. And this honestly was a pretty darn good list, a great set of sales as we move towards the end of the month. My favorite picks are, as I mentioned at the very top, Bulletstorm Duke of Switch Edition, Cave Blazers at $3.74. I like a lot. Lovers for $7.49, that 50% off. I will take it. Any of the Steamrolled stuff and Anthill at $3.99. And then we gotta go with Celeste and Towerfall at $5. And I like The World Ends With You Final Remix at $35. Let me know what you're targeting, what you would recommend, any games you're gonna pick up in the comments down below. Hit that like button if you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for supporting the channel and being a part of what we're doing here on SwitchForce. Join that Discord if you like. Until next time, everybody, stay safe and stay healthy out there. I love you a lot. SwitchForce out.